Welcome to episode 94 of the Trading Without Borders podcast with Omobi, your host. Last week, I started discussions on the African Union Protocol on Free Movement and the 2023 Visa Openness Report. The Visa Openness Report measures the extent to which African countries are open to visitors from African countries, and we looked at a bit of information on that. And so today we will continue our discussions on the protocol on free movement first, and we'll look at the report as well. But before we do that, let me give a shout out to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Congratulations to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Congratulations to Nigeria for getting to the finals of the African Cup of Nations. And to the South African team, Bafana, I say to you, well done. You fought a good fight, but alas, there must be a winner. Well done to you as well. So let's go into today's episode. Last week on the Protocol on Free Movement, we looked at the provisions on non-discrimination. Today we are going to move into the provisions on the progressive realization of the protocol. So what does that mean? The provisions basically states that the free movement of persons, right of residence, right of establishment shall be progressively achieved in 3 phases. And let's look at what those phases are. Phase 1, state parties are to implement the right of entry and abolition of visa requirements. Under phase 2, state parties shall implement the right of residence. Then phase 3 covers the right of establishment. So let's look at the right of entry. What does that entail? We'll look at that fully today, and then we can move on to the other phases and subsequent episodes. Under the right of entry provisions, so nationals of member states, they shall have the right to enter, stay, move freely and exit the territory of another member state in accordance with the laws, regulations and procedures of the host member state. The member states shall also implement the right of entry by permitting nationals of member states to enter into their territory without the requirement of a visa. The right of entry, this is the third one, the right to enter the territory of a member state shall be enjoyed in accordance with Article 7. I'll go into that, so what Article 7 contains. Then also a member state that permits a national of another member state to enter into their territory shall permit that national to move freely or stay for a maximum period of 90 days from the date of entry, or such further period determined by the member states or through bilateral or regional arrangements. So there is a 90 days cap, a 90 days limit, but that can also be extended through some sort of arrangements between member states. And finally, a national of a member state who wishes to stay in the host member state beyond the period provided shall seek an extension of stay in accordance with the procedure established by the host member state. So if you want to extend your stay further, then there's you have to go. That has to be done in accordance with the rules and regulations of the host state. So let's look at what Article 7 says. Remember, I said earlier that the right to enter under number 3, that the right to enter shall be enjoyed in accordance with Article 7. So let's look at what Article 7 states. And Article 7 provides for entry in member states. The entry into a member state shall be permitted for anyone that is entering through a designated point or official port of entry with a recognized and valid travel document, and the person is not prohibited from entering the member state by laws of that state in the case of in the case of national security, public order, or public health. So let me just repeat the final one. So the person is not prohibited from entering the member state due to the laws of that member state, which is as a result of protection of national security, public order, or public health. Okay, so I'll stop here for the protocol on free movement, and let's just take a quick dive into the African openness reports. Okay, and next week we'll move on to what we mean by designated official ports of entry, travel document, and African passport. But for now, let's move on to the African openness reports. Thank you. So we're looking at the 2023 findings of visa openness in Africa. The report noted that there's been an improvement, there's an encouraging development within the last 12 months. So this report focused on the year 2023, and it stated that 15 countries improved their score, up from 10 countries that had improved their score between 2021 and 2022. And also 35 countries maintained their level of visa openness, and only 4 countries recorded a decrease. And it says under visa-free entry, 48 or 54 African countries currently offer visa-free entry privileges to citizens of at least one other country. And then out of the remaining 6, 4 rank in top 20 for the year, because they offer visa on arrival to citizens of all other African countries. Okay, then 33 or 54 countries offer visa-free travel to at least 10 other countries. Then 4 countries now offer visa-free entry to the citizens of the rest of the continent, up from 3 countries from the preceding year 2022. Then for visas on arrival, 30 countries offer a visa on arrival to the citizens of at least one other African country. 12 countries offer a visa on arrival to the citizens of at least 35 other African countries. Out of the 12, the 12 only require a visa ahead of travel from citizens of 9 African countries. That's for that. Then let's look at visa ahead of travel and e-visas. Under this one, so we have 30 countries that still require citizens of more than half of the countries on the continent to obtain a visa ahead of travel. 44 countries require citizens from at least one other country on the continent to obtain a visa ahead of travel. And 24 countries each travel by offering visitors an e-visa. Okay, so this is where we are stopping for today. So let me just point out for the people that are wondering, so the protocol on free movement, what is the status? Well, at the moment, yes, even though it's been ratified by some of the African countries, it's not yet been implemented by a whole lot of them. And of course, there are security concerns and economic concerns amongst other concerns, really. But well, let's see how that goes with the AFCFTA. But at least we have started seeing some improvements so far. At least with the visa openness index that showed that improvement from 2022 to 2023. Okay. As usual, the podcast is for educational purposes only. If you want to speak more or discuss anything further in respect of trade within Africa or trade across border, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm Omobola Dekola, and until next week, I say bye-bye.